Folks, Wolf of War. Thinking we might try to make a little bit more progress today on this Dungeons and Dragons frameworks. Balor. I have to say it like that. I can't just say the word like a normal person. Balor. You have to say it really like drawn out and bassy. Um, hmm. That's an important reminder. So, let me finish up a few of my preliminary tasks here. I was making a few new folders. Whip out the old actually using bolt cutters here. I don't wanna, these are pretty thick and I don't wanna mess up my wire cutters on such thick gauged metal. I'll just cut it here. That's one. And basically it's just a piece of metal crimped and super glued in here. And I don't need this sleeve anymore, but we'll leave it on for now. Might make another one here, but is it big enough to hold it? Suppose. It's just crimp it here. Then we'll crimp it. Do you defy me? Here, in my place of power? I will destroy you. Bend to my will, crimp. You haven't heard that derogatory name before? You are a simpleton, then. And it shall be easy to defeat you, mindless piece of metal. Though you are giving me quite a time. What shall I do, ladies and gents? How shall I punish this transgression, this defilement of my will? Are you insane? Have you lost your mind? Okay. Might give us enough leverage to come onto this side. It's the spinning that's causing me grief here. If I could just... Yeah, okay. Nice. Then we will just, we don't really need anything like super strong here. We just, ooh. We just want it to not spin. Okay, I feel like we got it in there. Yeah. Okay. That's about seen its better days. Like, my phone just says like, screw you, man. Do not disturb. I don't care. I'll disturb you if I want to. Like, shut up, phone. Yeah. Trying to role play over here with my pliers. Hater. Okay. Trying to do this one-handed, so it's on film, but I think you guys get the picture. It's a device where you push down with two hands, and it makes a cut. If you guys want, I'll do a video on that one day. Okay, so got a couple extra clips here, which felt like we were gonna need. That's not dry yet. We'll give it just a moment. this one I think is dry, and it will be quite useful today. Clipping that bad boy for us to paint. So I'm just getting a few things prepared for that to happen. Oh yeah, we were also reassembling the airbrush, so I'll need a cork for that. We can put these away for now. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I think that glue is on everything right now. I feel like I should torn on whether I should try to paint all these fire pieces at the same time. You know, the obvious answer is yes. These are known colors. Shouldn't be too difficult to replicate these colors. I paused in my tracks trying to scrape the glue off my fingers. Come on, glue fingers. I was gonna grab a cork. I okay. I have two that fit loosely. Which is not my favorite, but actually bought a pack of corks. I don't like supporting the industry um, that provides cork. I feel like the cork trees are um, they're just not enough. They don't proliferate or anyway. I think they're like endangered or whatever. I haven't looked into it in a while, but last I remember, and I was glad to see that most of them, not all of them, most of them were actually this rubber cork material that is synthesized and gee, like, do I have to turn the phone off to get it to stop making noise? That's crazy. I will destroy you. I think I just need to go ahead and bite the bullet here. Use a bigger drill bit. I feel like I've been using the same drill bit. And it's like I'm trying to kind of trying to think of the word. ream the holes out. Is that the best word? My mind wants to say waller, but I think that may just be some kind of southern term I've heard. Okay, Cat, did you just did you just unplug my charging phone and not, what is going on here? This is a crazy house. Things have gone mad in my abode here. It's a madhouse, I say. Definitely not cork, and that's great. That's great. Doesn't need to be cork at all. You have served your purpose well. Right. So, we are getting there. I guess if we let this guy kind of hold him, it's right directly in my pink path. What if we... Are you just wanting to get on camera? You want some camera time? It's not really... Look, check it out. Meow. Yeah. They see you. Are you biting me? Are you playing with me? I cannot play with you right now, you meanie. And I don't have alcohol right now to disinfect my hands from your poopy claws. Know what it is about these cats scratching, but like they they don't keep their claws clean. Okay, I'm just gonna leave him there. And be mindful of him if I start to paint. Oh, and that reminds me. Second thing that I needed to complete before I can really get started. Which I do plan on using the smaller, more narrow airbrushes for most of the work today. Sometimes I get a little frustrated with the small spray pattern, especially when I have a big piece to do or something, or a big relative, right, to what we're used to here. Okay. I love this Sonic cleaner. I absolutely love it. Wish it would insulate the water well better. Like if I wanted to use it again in 2 or 3 hours, it'd be great if I didn't have to reheat the water. You don't always need heated water, but you know what I mean. Not that I want to be running my airbrush through that, but there's other things that you sometimes need to clean all kinds of things. Actually, it's a very neat and versatile tool. um, I guess I need to do this right. If any of you guys watching had never put together an airbrush and sealed it up before, I'm gonna be doing that really quickly. So hmm. So I had to do this yesterday. some sealing on the airbrush. But now I had this little teeny piece of beeswax that I trim off with the main bunch. But of course I won't lay my eyes on it until like 5 minutes after I don't need it. No big deal. Why you cut a little piece off? Thinking about cutting the base off of. That's fine. Yeah, I just think I need to go ahead and do that. This is so frustrating. Like, I need some kind of organization system or something. Like, I feel like if I was at work, um, I would have built some type of shelving system around me. And see, right now I'm surrounded by monitors. I think maybe one of the things I need to do is to I don't need to sit here at this. Oh, you know what? That's actually now I've really had an idea. Problem is I'm gonna have to. There's a few things to figure out, but I'm gonna move this setup to. I have some higher workbench areas. Why this didn't come to me last night, I'm not sure. So what I'm doing now is just kind of warming up this. This is beeswax, and I'm actually going to use it and melt it here in a second on the threads of this iwata. So right now this is going to heat them up a little bit. I'll tell you what, I'm going to literally have to pick up the phone and go into the settings and figure out what's going on. See, I don't want to take the time to do that kind of stuff on stream, but like, the thing will not shut up. I have it set to, if I turn it upside down, to like pause notifications and everything, and it is just like, dude, you really need to know about all this stuff going on this morning. I mean, there's Reddit going on, and I'm like, dude, why are you interrupting my settings to let me know about Reddit or something? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Where's that PTFE loop? Ladies, I'm just kidding. um, where, where in the world? My problem is that, um, well, I don't know. I just took the lubricant down yesterday to oil up the other air brush, and why I don't just go ahead and put things back immediately right where they go. I don't know, like and it drives me nuts. Um, so dumb. So dumb. And I definitely want to use the PTFE specific lubricant on this O-ring. Which, oh, here it is. It fell on the floor. Dang. Okay. Well, if you're gonna lube up your air gun, I like to use this. It's a little more fluid. Oops. So we'll just get that And that'll kind of keep this thing um, from dry rotting that much longer. And then we just start to kind of assemble here. Um, Make sure we don't cross thread it. Thing about the wax is it does cover up the threads. Ooh. It's a little thick. It doesn't need to be that thick. And you see I'm not removing it. It's still in the threads itself. I'm trying to cut my fingers getting it out, but yeah, it just went on a little thick there, so we're just kind of removing it, especially. Ooh, I don't want that. Especially around that first thread. I would say that's probably the one danger, and the one thing you should be on guard for somewhat with using the wax is not finding the threads, which most of these are threaded in such a way that they're not too hard to find the thread for it. You kind of have to be a little bit careless to just to completely. Am I? Boy, I am sometimes just not thinking. Oh, come on. And honestly, I mean, it'll still seal just fine, but um, you don't want to have to do that. You don't want to have to put it and take it back off. Wah, wah, wah. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. That's such an old saying. Right, now you're looking like a sexy airbrush again. I'm just trying to get that lube all up in there really well. It's not necessarily good for the paint. I'll be sure to clean it out really well, but for these other inner workings, it is like magic. What kind of magic spell to use? Slime and snails, goblin tails. Dance magic? Y'all don't know about that dance magic, do you? Dance magic, dance. All right, look, just kind of sit right here. Just a second. Right there. Okay. Okay. We cool. We cool. We cool. We cool. We cool. All right. Okay. Ooh. Well, that makes it even easier. You teaching me a lesson here? Is that what you're doing? Okay. Well, we'll get that situated in just a second. These pieces, honestly, when I first started trying to disassemble and reassemble this, I kind of struggled with this, like the first two times. These pieces work together so well that like you can struggle to get it in one at a time, but when you just put them both in together, it just fits and works. Like boom, there it is. So yeah, that's a tip if you guys didn't know. Um, does this still have paint in it? Are you serious right now? Oh, it's just like one big piece. That is one thing that you guys should be aware of. If you get a sonic cleaner, you probably are gonna have to like get a tooth, but it kind of stinks that you have to do that. It's part of the point is that it can get in these little places without damaging them and kind of clean them. Where be my needle? Oh wait, I may not have gotten it out of the basket of the cleaner. Let's see. There it is. Pretty as can be. Yeah, this thing has started getting a little bit kludgy because we were running a lot of varnish through it, and maybe I just wasn't cleaning it well enough afterwards. And then I kind of painted with it for a reasonably long session one day, and um, look at that, pushing paint out of that thing still. Er, yeah, feel like I'm gonna need to possibly run that needle part through again. Let's see if I can push it out with air and isopropyl maybe. Definitely need to tighten up my seals first, right? Still feels like there's something in the tip. I mean, it's like catching or something as I. Oh yeah, that sucker is warm. It's like catching as I push it in and out. I thought I was gonna be ready to do some painting this morning with this airbrush, but I feel like it should be coming out right now. I mean, I pull the. Let's see. Tighten the needle down and see how it. If the action is smooth. Is the needle tip bent? Honestly can't tell. I think I'm gonna need to run some paint through it. Let me run some, I don't think it's coming out like it's supposed to. Pretty sure that it's not. Well, there we go. Maybe. Alright, we're gonna try. See what happens with this. Maybe something going on with the nozzles, so if that's true, I'll just have to run it through the cleaner again. Oh, I kept hearing this beeping noise. I think it's actually my washing machine. I was like, do I hear it beeping? I believe my washing machine needs something adjusted. Trying to wash too big of a load. Let me do that before I add paint. I'll be back in about 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. I saw a trick where a guy was leaving his actually I'm not gonna do that. His name is I wanna say it's Kenny Boucher, and his channel is Next Level Minis or something like that, I wanna say. But yeah, I saw a tip where he was putting the airbrush overnight in a shot glass upside down. Probably just like a mild detergent. And it kind of covered up into the cup, it seemed like. So it would just like a really good way to keep it clean. But Let me put the guard on this. I actually dropped one of my first airbrushes, a cheaper one, without the rear guard on it, and it broke or it bent the needle. So I do find myself often needing to take it off for a minute, but until that time, um, I try just as a good habit to leave the rear of the airbrush on because if this falls, it will prevent the needle from being bent. And it doesn't matter if it's bent in the front or bent in the back or at the tip. If it's bent, it's bent. It's not worth a shirt. It's not worth a shirt or a pair of pants or okay. Do we have another one? Guess for the next thing we need. He's got a couple things on this sprue that I wasn't quite sure what they were. Um, and that is, let's see. Okay, yeah, these instructions are not great, but or at least, well, yeah, they're not great. I'm just gonna say that. So there's optional things, horns. The horns I went with actually call for two more horns to be placed up on the top of his head. I did not use those. I felt like the two on here that I have are enough. Shit! God, man! Oh! Sorry. That is so aggravating. Butterfingers around these things, and you try so hard not to. Ah! You guys see it here, folks. That's how it really happens. At least I didn't have it connected on here hard enough to break. I feel like I messed this one up because I wasn't paying, I guess, close enough attention, and I think the glue ran up into the thing, and now it just does not want to. Um, you got to give a little, take a little, let your heart break a little. That's the joy of, that's the story of love. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep trying to salvage these things or not. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna make a call right now. These are getting on my nerves. Bye bye. You are the weakest link. Hmm. It's none of your beeswax. It's none of your beeswax. Okay. Where's the other pinching device that I made? Yep, see, that works a lot better. Closes, opens. Yeah, I was talking about the head though. See, he's got the two round horns, but he doesn't have the two top horns. Um, I mean, this is my opinion of demon fashion, and it's, you know, two horns um, is good. Four horns, you're trying to make a statement. It's try hard. It's overkill. Um, you know, nobody's looking at the guy saying, "Look at me." I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just making sounds and noises. Okay, so the difference really in the two are a set of horns and a different sword art. Sword art is here. One goes um, into a, and it's gonna be hard to see because they're clear, but you can see it on the box art. It's a lightning type sword that goes up into a dark cloud. Um, I don't know how I feel about it. It honestly, I almost think it makes the miniature look too busy, right? It's like You have this whole color scheme going on, everything's this color, and then there's just one thing off to the right that's like this other color, like it doesn't belong. Um, at least that's my opinion of the box art. Now, could they have married some of those colors into other parts, like use that light white blue maybe to make these cool looking skulls? That might bring it together more. Or there's the option of the flame sword. You know, it's like I like these options on miniatures, and sometimes I don't because, like, I don't, they're both gonna look good. I guess the best thing I could do here in this scenario would be just to paint them both and see how they look. Um, and honestly, maybe leaving it on the sprue to do that um, would be would be fine. So we have our two swords. Um, yeah, let's just slap some primer on them and see where we go. I'm gonna take them over to my booth and do the primer, and then I'll bring them back to do the painting. I forgot to put the camera stand back up in the painting booth. Slack, that's pretty slack. Well, just bear with me for a moment then. Uh, actually, where's the other sprue? Because I think there was something else that needed to be painted. Oh yeah, there's a mountain of skulls. There's handles for the swords. Um, and then so this is like something I don't get. Like it shows these. What the hell are these? Where do they go? What are they for? What is this? This is a mountain of skulls, right? So this is where he puts his foot. No. See, I guess they're optional. I guess you can put the mountain of skulls on it. And this is some kind of... I mean, I don't have any idea what it is or where it's supposed to go. Um, is this something extra that we can add to a base? You just giving us some extra terrain here. It just says plus, and it's like, here's your stuff plus. Like, I mean, maybe it should be obvious where it goes. Maybe I'm just a moron. But if your business model has people either not knowing because your instructions are bad, or it makes them feel like a moron, I argue that maybe your instructions need some work because if you're selling that to people, that's not what I'm buying. I don't want to feel dumb. Like, I mean, what are you trying to convince me of here, That you're as useful as an asshole right here? You guys can't see that. I'm pointing to my elbow. Mm, okay. So, I want you guys to use your imagination right now. Just a minute, bear with me. What you're seeing, close your eyes. What you're seeing is me wielding an airbrush like it's a GD chainsaw, but with like finesse art. It's masterful. The waves I'm making going across these sprues and priming them black is just, you never knew there was such an art to priming um, a miniature. It's a miraculous thing to behold. The way the paint coats and swaths as I go back and forth across the surface with this paint, this built similar to other paints, but it's got properties in it to make it stick and bind and provide a rough textured surface for other paint to stick and bind to it. Yeah, there's definitely something stuck in this tip still. Yeah, it should be squirting out paint like gangbusters here. I should be having to refill it. No, I'm just kidding. It shouldn't be that bad. But yeah, it's definitely only squirting out a very small portion of the paint that it normally does. Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. See, I was wanting to do this last night, and I was like, well, let me wait until I get upstream because um that sonic cleaner can be a little bit noisy, and so I put it over there. And I didn't really clean it good because like I'm gonna break it down and put it into the sonic cleaner. Yeah, there's no reason to spend 2 minutes on stream cleaning this thing when in about 10 minutes I'm gonna or 5 minutes, I'm gonna run it through a sonic cleaner. But it ended up being 30 minutes or an hour. Then it actually ended up being this morning because I walked off to get a bite to eat afterwards, thinking I was gonna come back, but like my back was hurting, so I just went and laid down. About 9 o'clock at night too, which was sad on a Friday night. But um, well, waking up real early, I was tired, and that's what I did. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry. I deeply apologize for offending you, and I'll try to be better next time. Oh, Butterfingers. You better not lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Okay, well, I need to run this tip through the sonic cleaner again. I use this because it has a reasonably wide spray pattern. Um, and it's just, you can tell it's not spraying right. Well, now it actually seems to be spraying a little bit. I'm not holding over this area. I don't want to get this black overspray on everything. I can feel it. Okay. Um, really here too. I'm just trying to put a little bit of shade on them right now. I'm not going to fully saturate these. It'll help me see the colors though, kind of bring them out. Um, the shapes, the contours, which is really hard to see on that black. And I may not decide to prime these completely black. Um, you have to build up a lot of base coats. I did prime these hard black because well, this one is that storm sword. It needs to be primed dark. Um, the fire sword, on the other hand, well, we'll build up from the shadows. Okay, that's that'll get us started. I'm gonna break down the Iwata again and put that tip back through the sonic cleaner.
somebody is on stream and will let me know if it's loud. I have a little bit of noise canceling going on, so it may not get picked up at all.
Looks pretty clean to me. Just gonna back the needle out just a wee bit. Yeah, either the needle is bent or there's something in that tip. I think the needle might be. I think the tip of the needle might be bent. Just a little bit. Is that the problem then? These are some soft grip pliers that I made using two-sided tape. They work pretty good. See how long that two-sided tape sticks there, but I'm gonna run this sucker through the ultrasonic cleaner again. Hopefully that'll clear up our problems. Also might try to see if I can fix the tip there. I didn't get a really close look, but it just a very preliminary glance. Ow! It seemed to be just slightly bent at the tip. Watch out, kitty cat. She's like, I know I won't. What is that? What am I looking at right there? Oh, I still don't know what I'm looking at. I mean, I know it's it's a rag, but my daughter got sick the other morning, and I'm like, that's not a rag that we use to. Anyway, I'm gonna wash it either way, just in case, because I don't remember it. Oh, how annoying. How annoying. Alright, so we're gonna run ultrasonic again. And hopefully it's not picking up on that noise too much. Probably only when I'm talking. And just keep that to a minimum for a minute. Is it? Oh, I need to get some magnification onto this. Get out my, I can only assume it's the nerdiest looking headgear in the world. Gotta embrace it, man. You gotta really just own it. Okay, let's look at this tip here. It has got the slightest bend in it. And I have a spare. But it'd be great if I could use this one a little while longer. So I just left a piece of like glue or whatever was on any of these flyers on it, and and it bent like straight down. I was like, "Oh no, I know I didn't just bend the tip that much. That's crazy. What in the world?" And then I wiped it off, and I was like, "Oh." Yeah, the tip did look like it was a little bent, like it had somehow uh, been hit on the end there. So we're just gonna put this bad boy over here out of the way for a bit and see where that goes. Um, I haven't used. I have an old cheap airbrush, and it has a very fine tip needle in it. Thought about trying to use that for a few, and I may do that. See how well it works. If I remember correctly, the pattern was fine. And I was using it before I started learning about what makes an airbrush good. Um, and I never really went back and tried it kind of after I'd used a few better ones. So I am interested to see um, how the action is, how responsive it is when you pull the trigger back, if it's always very um, I guess dependable in the sense that you always get the same amount of paint when you pull it back the same amount and stuff like that. So I really don't know how to. I didn't know at the time how to judge it. I just knew that it was an airbrush and I could push paint out of it. Okay. Yeah, let's get started. I guess I'll try this Timber Tech airbrush here. I know I can easily just switch out to the Badger, which I'm not really thrilled with the Badger either. I'd ordered an Iwata HP, the Micron. I'd ordered a Micron. I had some issues, had to fight for a long time to try to get refunded for that. Honestly, I need to check up on that process. Um, so I ended up just getting the Badger temporarily, and I haven't really been happy with it. It's a good little airbrush. It seems to like to spray and splatter a lot more than any of the other ones that I use. So, just for the time being. Oh, I forgot to prime this guy. That's okay. I can run the primer through this and prime it up real quick. I got a big cup on there because sometimes I get tired of refilling them. But with such a small needle, yeah, this big of a cup really is kind of overkill. I like the fact that you can change the size of the cups, but really, like if you have a Badger or a Micron, you're only going to need one size cup, really. I mean, you're not like going through enough paint to. Let's go ahead and. I mean, look how small the pattern is on it. Looks like it's pretty plunk up too. I guess the other thing I didn't know a lot about when I first started using these was like proper maintenance. One thing that I learned is don't try to clean 2 or 3 airbrushes at once. Parts are really similar, and unless you're just intimately familiar with them, sometimes remember which part came off of what. For instance, compare the Iwata to this and the pieces, this piece and this piece here, these two that go on the end. Um, they look very similar, and they both thread the same for both airbrushes, so, or at least we hope, right? Yeah, this isn't working too well. I think the ultrasonic cleaner's done, so maybe my thing about primer too is, and especially on this plastic, is I don't have to coat it to. It doesn't have to be fully opaque to give me something to stick to. Didn't work too well. I'm not gonna put it through the ultrasonic cleaner right now, just because taking the time to do so. But it's crazy that it's not coming through clean yet. Let me get some of my brush cleaner. That's probably another thing is I don't always run the cleaner through. Sometimes I just kind of rinse it. I probably should always run the cleaner through. I mean, it has surfactant, it has cleaner, isopropyl alcohol, all kinds of good things that this bad boy enjoys having run through its insides after a good paint sesh. There's a lot of O-rings on this one too. It's another reason why it's kind of a pain in the butt to clean. You don't necessarily want the O-rings going through the ultrasonic cleaner, but at the same time, every time you take them off, you put them on, you're putting stress on them, and yeah, best scenario would be to keep this one clean. in which it may be relatively. I can't even get the tip off right now. It may be relatively clean. It is a very small um, diameter needle. I think it's either 0.18 or 0.2. I think it's 0.2 actually, but let me grab the tip for the Iwata. Hopefully it is clean now. And that catching, I mean, there was pain in it, but that catching I was feeling was more likely from the tip. Hopefully it'll feel a lot smoother now. And I don't even know if cleaning this tip did anything. I'm not sure that there was anything still trapped in it. Actually, I think I see something in it right now. So it could have been two things. Not sure. There's definitely paint up in there. Wow. Why is that hole so big on this end? I guess it's got to let paint come in around it. Look at all that. I've run this through the sonic cleaner 3 times. I don't know what kind of damage I might be doing to the inside of this thing right now. But yeah, it's definitely got some stuff in it. Let's go one more time. Yeah, there's definitely some gunk up in there. Up in there. Oh, I love listening to that. That noise is just like music to my ears. It is the most discordant, like, sound that you could possibly imagine. It's just terrible. But still. A lot of blue in this black. Like at first I was like, whoa, what's going on here? What's that color coming out of here? But I'm totally not surprised that it looks so green that first second or two. Yeah, I probably should have just primed this guy white, but it'll make sure I build up the colors really well by painting it black like you have to. So it'll be sure that I'm using that the white's not doing the work, I guess, which I don't really know why that matters. But like you try once or twice, you don't get enough, and then all of a sudden you get too much. What air? I haven't checked my air pressure in such a long time. I mean, it always stays right at 40, and then I adjust it, but I haven't in a while. Yeah, right at 40. No water in the line. Impressive. Probably need to empty the tank though on the compressor. I bet it's got some water. I love watching the colors come to life and build up. Alright, I'm gonna let that badger rest for just a second while I get up and I check the needle, the awada. How does the hook continually come off, and what good is it? Like every single time I put this basket down in, and the basket has the sonic cleaner has a basket, a small basket for small parts, and it's really just a T um sieve or whatever you terminology is for them. But yeah, it's got a little hook and chain or whatever, and it just like does not stay attached. Like I feel like I'm scratching the inside of it, but at the same time, and I'm not using a lot of pressure. But there is definitely paint down in that sucker. Ooh, that's getting it. Getting some paint bristles like down in there and just kind of like spinning them around. That's getting it. Really shouldn't be holding that over a sink, rinsing it. That's the kind of a dumb thing to do. Okay, well we're gonna try to put it back on the brush now. Yeah, because there's paint. God, if you make me trip and I fall on this needle, you won't get any food, at least for not for a couple days until you start to eat my body. I have no illusions that my cat would eat me. I mean, we've had the discussion, and I told her that, like, if I die, I want you to eat. Like, I mean, we need to survive. I was like, if it was the other way around, I would eat you. I was like, I wouldn't even wait for you to die. If I started getting starving or whatever, like, I would just go ahead and kill you and eat you. And I was like, it wouldn't even have to be like starving, starving. Like, if I was just hungry and didn't feel like walking to the kitchen one day, like, I mean, I'm just kidding. It's crazy, all the paint that's still in the tip of this thing. Like, I'm having to somewhat think to myself, like, but to some extent, it's got to be okay. Wow, all the paint. And it's just like really hard. And I'm pushing it through the tip because like, how else do you get it out? I should use the needles from the cheaper airbrushes to clean the more expensive instead of the Hiawatha needle. Because I have other 3.5 needles. Um, I'm pretty sure I got a spare needle for this one. I had one. Wow, it's still coming out, guys. It's crazy. I'm in the I'm at the sink, so I'm not able to see chat right now. So if anybody's in there and talking to me, I apologize. I will be right back. Still just getting this gunk build up on the tip of my airbrush. Like, I don't understand how it worked. Obviously, this is many coats of paint. that have dried in here, I'm guessing. Or one or two just really bad offenses. Okay, well, I still have stuff coming out just about every time I push it. It does seem a little better, but yeah, if I'm gonna take much longer doing this, I'm gonna have to come back and do it some other time because which I wonder if I ran it back through now after kind of running the needle through there so many times, and there's definitely something still in there. I feel it. And this can't be the best way to clean it out, pushing it through the teeny hole at the tip. Well, standing here in front of running water isn't making it any better. And I'm not really able to do anything with the water, aside from maybe lubricate it. But yeah, it's crazy. I've just been able to continuously push stuff out of the tip. Oh, there's more. Um, I do have some um, very small diameter needles for cleaning out my 3D filament printer. This might work. For instance, this is one. I'm not sure what size it is, but assume it's a 0.4 or something close. It could be a 0.2 or a 0.3. It's definitely smaller than a 0.35. Ooh, I pulled it out too far. Maybe pulled it to say, look, more stuff. It's paint or something. It's almost like maybe going through a tumbler type part cleaner or something. Or maybe different detergent. I don't know. I put super clean in with this, and it usually works pretty well. Just keeps pushing more crap out. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. It's real small, but like, it's like how much stuff can even exist up in there? Oh, now that's smooth. There we go. Yeah, that's probably how it should feel. Uh-oh, I found something else. Come on, go ahead and come out. Yeah, there's something. There it goes. It came out the bottom. Went right through the skin of my finger. Did y'all see that? one more thing in there. Like it's the last bit. I think I might just pull it out just now. Okay. Well, it's definitely cleaner than it was, and it feels night and day. So let's just put it back together and see what happens. Probably shouldn't have used this needle to try to force the stuff through for that long, but I did. I do understand a little bit more about what needs to be cleaned out during a blowout, right? While you're trying to get your airbrush clean. You know, you're rinsing and washing. Yeah, now I kind of understand why to go those extra few maybe blowouts and make sure you use a cleaner each time because yeah, that stuff needs to come out. Okie doke. Well, that was a little bit more of a side quest than I thought we were going to go on together, but we bonded over that adventure. It's been it's been fun and it's been real. It just hasn't been real fun. Oh, and I said I wasn't going to leave this pain in this badger, but for a second, while I went and checked my tip, made a liar of myself, didn't I? Little things like this happen, and that's another way to get clogs and things. Luckily, still have pain in the cup. For the most part, the it's going to dry from the top down, right? So, um, from the place exposed to air first. So it shouldn't be gunking up that quickly on me. Plus I had flow improve and everything else in here too, so it really didn't even start to film on me, but too much longer and it definitely would have. So we're just oranging, yellowing it up. It's actually gonna have to dry a second, plus I need to refill my cup again, and that's why I like to use the Iwata on things that aren't very detailed, because I end up filling this cup up 3 or 4 times just to do this one thing. And if I didn't thin the ink at all, I might could have got away with like one less coat, but I mean it's fun to do. It's okay. So let's practice what we preach here. I'm gonna go ahead and run some cleaner through it. Where's my sponge? So I'll clean, then I'll dump. So I don't need to run that all the way through there. Clean. Alright, we'll do it again. This time I'll grab the brush here and just get anything off the walls, break up anything that's beginning to dry. Blow it again. Nicely dump it. I'm noticing here that the yellow paint is because it's dried on the cup. Not a big deal. Just in that little place, I'll scrub a little harder. Bubble it up. Blow it through. At this point, I can start running water through so I don't see any yellow come back. See, this is where I'd normally quit. Cup is clean. If I put clean water in the cup and bubble it, shh. That's why I use the sponge with this one. No guard on it. The water comes back clean. But from what I just learned from cleaning my other one, now this one doesn't have as big of a well in it, but and I guess honestly, there's really nothing wrong with probably just leaving the cleaning liquid. I think it's clean. So I'm gonna fill it up and cleaning material and leave it like that and hope it's good for tomorrow. I'm gonna grab the water. We'll do the rest of this flame, at least the main base part of it with the sawada. We're gonna have to refill it 100 times. Plus, I'd like to run the paint through it, get a feel for it, and make sure I'm cleaning it good and real quick. So we'll do that. Nothing like a nice rainy Saturday morning to play with your toys. Am I right, guys? I didn't put that's right, I didn't put any beeswax on that. It's okay. Is this mix good enough then? It is coming out pretty strong. Okie dokie. Well, it's obvious we need to let that dry for a moment. Um, oh, kind of in a holding pattern for a second, I guess. I'm trying to think of what else I can do, but Oh, excuse me. Cool. Really glad that happened. Huh. You already see a little bit of pooling of the paint. It's not a big deal here. It's not really going to hide the details or anything. As it dries, it's going to shrink. Um, those places will just be um, more orange until I get a opaque coat on. Probably have this paint too thinned, to be honest. It's actually an ink. Didn't really need to be thin to begin with. I'm just drying it off right this second. I don't want to continue adding paint where it's collecting. I've been too impatient with it already. And that's another thing that I get too excited and carried away and forget to do. So we have some sprue removal that we neglected. It's hard to see the fine detail on the ends of these cutters with all that glue on them. Is that another one right there? Gotta do it now. I hate to have to come back and want to do it later, or regret that I didn't do it. Hey, it's just like primer too. Roughing it up just right. Make it real happy for paint to stick to it. Is there another place? Right there. Smooth like a baby's bottom. Yeah, I need to thicken this up on the next go. It's a very specific color though. That's the base, so it really doesn't matter. I could go with brown for all it really matters. I don't really just want something that yellow will show up on when we... Yeah, it's gotta be yellow there, doesn't it? I can go with a lighter yellow, it seems like. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I wonder if ink is the way, or if I should add some... Well, I'm just gonna add some more ink. We'll, we'll burn that bridge in a moment. And we'll dry this out really well before we stir. So I added some primary yellow to this. That should lighten it and brighten it. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to thicken the paint, the ink a little. I'm still drying. It's definitely yellow. It's less opaque than that orange, which that's good. Okay guys, this is just, I think we're gonna have to have a patient process here. I can't keep dumping my paint um, to do other things, so thanks for joining up to see what we're working on here. That just needs a moment to dry. Okay. Well, I hope that's clean. I have run a lot of water and cleaner through it, so imagine even if it's not, I'm gonna put some cleaner in here while it's resting, and well, paint will have a hard time drying in that mess. Alright. Guys, I've actually already cleaned the brush off. I might have been muted during part of that. I had my mic down and it mutes when I have it down. Um, but just got a couple things out of the way this morning and had a few ideas about how I should kind of set up my space. It seems like I'm having a lot of time like just grabbing stuff quickly when I need it and finding stuff. And then sitting here airbrushing more and more. I'm sitting in front of a monitor that's gonna end up getting um, spray and everything else from it, and I have a station for airbrushing. So I'm gonna take a little break, grab a quick bite. Maybe if I can do it, if I think I can do it in like an hour, I might try to change my setup a little bit. But I do plan on being back and making more progress on um, this Balor this afternoon. And appreciate you guys joining me on this journey as I learn to do these things and um, just improve my hobby environment and my craft and things like that. So I've enjoyed spending time with you guys today, getting a little paint done, and on my millions of subscribers. And we'll see you next time.